desert. Plus, play all your old school games on your Xbox and learn more about my very expressive robot friend. Hello, Vera.
He makes it happen. Hi.
He does. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers.
Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. We cover a little bit of everything on the Screensavers. Underground P2P clients, hacking your Windows boot screen, a hands-on review of the latest 8x DVD burners, and that was just last week.
But today kicks off Robot Week on the Screensavers. We're going to have a ridiculous array of robots on set, field coverage from DARPA's Grand Challenge and Robo-Olympics.
Nice. But
Dan
tonight
got smothered in robots.
Oh, he did. That's right. He got to go to the Robo-Olympics. That's going to be fun. Dan in his first segment.
His first field package.
His first field package. That's going to be interesting.
It's like watching a child take his first steps.
That's right. Great show tonight. Like Sarah said, we have a robotic head that mimics facial expressions. Plus, I'll show you a hack that lets you play over 4,000 old school arcade games on your Xbox.
MAME on the Xbox?
MAME on the Xbox.
Very nice.
Dig Dug, Mario Brothers, Tecmo Bowl, all the old
Pyros.
Oh, that was your favorite, right? I never played that one.
Nobody played that one.
That was
there was like one version of Pyros in the United States. It was in the cafeteria at my college. Plus, all this week we're going to be building robot kits throughout the show. Yoshi's got like
parts all over the place.
Check this out.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of kits here. We got the Octobot Survivor, we got the Hexapod 2, we have the Scarab robot, we have the Bug Brain, and we have this cool Trekker line follower. So
how many are you building this week?
Well, I'm going to build one for sure. Pat wants to build one of them.
Right.
Someone else might build another one.
Do you want to build a robot? Who wants to build a robot?
Sarah?
Hey!
Oh, there we go.
Outstanding!
Oh, the audience is in too. They want to build some robots.
So the last person we got to find out about the whole robot question is Dan.
Whoa, robots.
You want to build a robot?
Yes.
Can you solder?
Yoshi can.
That's an answer.
But anyways, I want to let you guys know, I want to see your pretty face on netcams on our show. There's two ways to do it. First is to call us at 888-989-7879. You can also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com. And the reason why is to email us is there's a netcam filter that will filter it out, and then all we do is just go through it, and we pick the best callers.
So you're on a netcam rampage.
Netcam rampage.
I love the netcams.
I want to see some pretty girls and some geeky guys.
All right.
What about geeky girls and pretty guys?
I don't know. No comments.
He's undecided. Let's start with the tech news that caught our eye today. Sarah's got the first story.
Even I know how to solder, Dan. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, I did.
Oh, Sarah got fun in the oven. Fun in the oven. Oh, fun in the oven.
You know what? This is fashion, okay? There are no buns in this oven. It's still smaller than a bread box.
And cell phones started ringing all over.
These are rumors. This is how rumors get started. Okay, broadband for all. Let's move right into the news, shall we? Broadband for all. President Bush is calling for affordable, universal broadband access by 2007. He also said, and I quote, "Congress must not tax access to broadband technology if we want to spread it around. And the more the price goes down, the more users there will be." Thank you, George.
Broadband for everybody.
I like that.
I like that, but it's not going to happen in 3 years.
I got a better idea. I like the idea of like free broadband for every American. You know what the problem is? We're all going to be paying for it. So I don't know.
Pay for it one way or the other.
Everybody who has an internet connection wants broadband.
I just think this is kind of a ploy from Bush to try and get more votes. Because if you think about it, it's not going to be built in 3 years. And it's like, hey, I'll put OC12 lines in everybody's house if they'll vote for me. He's just saying something to kind of get some attention.
And look at the Supreme Court last week. It basically struck a blow against like small, states and communities. Basically like local communities, small towns being able to organize their own telcos because of horrible service from our box. I'm like, those don't jive with each other.
Strange. Next story.
Okay, this is more fun.
right.
NASA's hypersonic speed test was this past Saturday, and the unmanned X-43A scramjet flew at Mach 7 for 11 seconds, shattering the plane speed record. NASA has one more test vehicle, which it plans to fly at 10 times the speed of sound.
It's really cool.
That's fast.
It's really cool. We actually got to. I was down at Ames Research Center.
I was going to say, you've actually flown in one of these.
No.
That was before.
There's no people in these yet. I'd just be a blistering splat against the back of the seat.
But you did get the chance to fly. This one's flying at Mach 7. How fast did you go when you were in that
went
fighter
just
jet?
under Mach 1.
Just under Mach 1. Okay.
Yeah, it was like, and you know, I got to fly with the Blue Angels, right? Mach 7 is like ridiculous. Mach 7 in a turn, like I'd be unconscious for days. But this is amazing. A scramjet. It's basically I would say the supersonic combustion ramjet, right? It's basically they designed an engine that the faster it runs, the faster it can run, and it's going to be amazing to see what these can do. Speed records are just going to get blown all over the place.
I was going to say, you passed out, didn't you? And you were going right under Mach 1.
Well, yeah, no, it's probably doing like 400 miles an hour. You make a hard left turn, and you're not paying attention.
You're out.
It's out. It's gone.
Sounds like fun.
Thank you,
Sarah.
I am not. There's no bun in the oven. Let me make that perfectly clear. Right along. Move along.
Mom's calling me right now. Mom's on the line, but no, Mom, you're watching No Bun in the Oven. Matt joins us on the phone from New Baltimore, Michigan.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Good.
How's it going?
Congratulate Kevin on fatherhood.
Congratulations, Kevin.
We're excited. It's going to be, I'm hoping for a boy.
Boy, it sounds good to meet you.
How can we
You
help
guys gonna record another intro. I mean, it seems like either Leo or Pat's gone all the time. They need Kevin in there on the intro in the car instead of one of you
It
two.
just so happens.
What's the date? Ken, do you know? The 5th? Is it the 5th of next month? Something
When's
like that?
the new
intro?
opening roll?
Soon.
Soon.
Soon is the official answer.
Matt, it's basically going through the Avid editing system. They're going to drop some smoke on it to make it pretty in sometime between
Within a week. Okay, within a week.
Wait,
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, question. My uncle, his son, has some protected files on his computer. I haven't had a chance to make it over yet, so I don't know what's going on, if they're encrypted, if they're password protected. But he wants to be able to get into them without his son knowing he was in them.
Oh.
And to see if there's any like video files or whatever there might be. He doesn't know.
Okay, so the son is encrypting he's encrypting the files?
I don't know if he's encrypting them or if they're password protected or what's going on. I haven't.
Or
made
if it's
it over
just an
there yet,
application
but,
the dad
he
can't
just says he
find or
can't get into
something.
them.
Right. So basically, okay, so dad looks at child's computer and goes, what is this?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Is there
Just
something
sees
that
a
you're
folder that he can't get into?
So it's just a folder he can't get into. He's wondering what's in the folder.
Right.
Well, this is kind of a hard one to troubleshoot because we have to know what type of encryption is being used in order to even attempt to find something that can crack it.
I mean, basically, here's the thing: is that the biggest problem with this one, Matt, right, is and I'm not even going to get into the kid's right to privacy because if you're under 18, you don't have any whether you're in school or in the house. At least in the way I grew up. So I don't even want to get into that whole issue. But the problem is, right, is if it is encrypted and the child used any decent level of encryption, you're talking about running a cracking program that could take hours, if not years, to figure out how to crack and get inside of that.
Yeah, just to
file.
let you know, Matt, he could download an application in about 5 minutes, and it's going to take the government several years to crack it. So you're going to have to ask him for the password. You know, sit him down, talk to him, and say, you know, we keep an open computer here. That's how we like to keep everything out in the open. That's what Leo does. He keeps his computer in the main room so he can always watch what's going on with his kids. And you know, you got to talk to him when it comes to stuff like that because they can create encryption that you can't break.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the NSA might be able to break it, but they don't really
I've been over there before, and he's not really computer literate, so I'm going to guess he only used like the Windows encryption.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think he's downloaded any high tech.
You're still talking a matter of
program.
You're still talking, you know, unless he like did something silly like used his birth date for the password on that. You're still talking about, you know, potentially hours, if not weeks, even for weak encryption.
What are we talking about? Windows XP are you running? Or?
Yeah, Windows XP Home.
Yeah, there's, you know what, we'll put a link up in the show notes to my article on how to crack Windows XP passwords. There's an easy way to reset them. It only takes a matter of minutes, and you can get right in there. If they're using just the Windows encrypted file system, that'll let you in once you have that original password.
Yeah, I'd still though, I gotta say, I like your idea before. Sit the kid down, what is in this, unlock it, show it to me. Because you know what, that's the responsible, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you know, at least you want to know if the kid's, is he stashing MP3s, is he downloading videos, is it his prawn collection?
Prawn.
PR0N.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Okay, guys.
Good luck, man.
I appreciate the help.
Thanks, Matt.
Glad to help.
Yeah.
Tough question.
I know.
Tough question.
Tough question.
And kids are shouting expletives at the screen all over the country. We're just getting started. Later on, we're going to find out why the Department of Defense threw down a 140-mile off-road field test for robot vehicles.
That was cool.
And up next was, it was pretty trippy. Plus, robots that listen and respond to what you say. We get up close and personal with Vera and her creator, David Hansen, with the Screensavers continues. At a poker table, talking to your friends, facial expressions are integral to human communication. Our first guest combines art, engineering, and artificial intelligence in his search to deliver a sociable robot. I want to welcome David Hansen. He's a PhD student at the Institute for Interactive Arts and Engineering. That's at the University of Texas. And you're a creator of human emulation robots. David, welcome.
Thank you.
This is a serious challenge. Why do you want to give, you're not just creating facial expressions, but you also want a robot that actually recognizes facial expressions. And she's a little active.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is Vera.
That's right. That stands for verisimilitude experiment in a robotic appliance.
Mm-hmm. So you want to actually, Vera is designed essentially to read our emotions and to be able to respond to them, to recognize anger or fear, or that's the long-term goal of the project. Right. This is pretty serious. You've got a lot of relays. You've got a computer program running here. What's Vera doing today? What's she showing us?
Well, Vera is a vehicle for converging a bunch of different technologies that are very exciting today. Mm-hmm. They include machine perception that can see human faces and facial expressions and so forth. At this point, what we have is face tracking, mm-hmm. automatic speech recognition, mm-hmm. A chatterbot, basically, mm-hmm. Which generates a response, and then the ability to synthesize and lip sync as well as express emotions on the facial appliance. So this is just a sketch of what is possible with today's technology. So when she sees your face, sometimes she looks for other faces, sometimes she follows your face.
Now, let's slide her over a little bit so she can actually track on your face. That's what she's doing, right? There's an application running on the notebook behind us that's actually looking for a face to track on, right?
That's right.
So if we look in the back, you can see that Vera's, if we pull that software up, can we show that coming out of the feed coming out of the back?
Hi.
Can we show that? So she's actually looking around for a face. Will she lock? If she sees your face, will she lock onto it?
Yeah, it depends on whether the executable is behaving itself. But yeah. So let's we can see if she'll see my face and
lock. I love Marshall Pizza Champagne.
Just even turn her a little bit towards you. There she
Hello.
goes.
I love Marshall Pizza Champagne. I love Marshall Pizza Champagne.
Hello.
This is tough stuff. Now you actually, how long have you been working? This is not a simple problem. This is trying to solve.
Yeah,
because we were running this before. It's pretty amazing. So the face detection software, it looks for a face,
right.
Then it tracks and locks onto you and locks onto your eyes. Are there cameras inside of Vera's head?
Yeah, there are cameras embedded in the eyes, and then in addition to now she's watching my face. So
she's my organic. I love Marshall Pizza Champagne. I love Marshall Pizza Champagne.
Her speech is a little having a little conniption. What is your name?
My name is Vera.
Thank you. You have to get the cameras embedded in the eyes. You have to make the eyes look like eyes, so that then you can affect sociable eye contact. We also want this thing to be very lightweight and robust, low power, so that it can go on mobile robots. On any of the zillion bipeds that are appearing these days could have a face like this.
Rather than having like the little white robot face or the thing that looks like what was Tweaky on Buck Rogers, right? Where you've got like the dead eyes and the little square mouth. You want something that can effectively communicate with people.
Absolutely.
Is this for a digital receptionist? Is this for robots in the home? Do you think this belongs on every robot? I mean, obviously not like if somebody's not for industrial robots.
Well, we're evolved to respond to the human face and to facial expressions. We also respond to cartoons of the human face as well, but there seems to be a lot of information that gets conveyed by the realistic face. If we can understand that, then we can make cartoon faces better, animal faces. We can even make highly simplistic, mechanistic faces more effectively. So I feel like that by going for this high bar and trying to model the realistic face, that we're going to learn more and learn it faster.
So it's kind of like you teach the robot the classic expression. If the eyebrows are going down, it's anger. If they arch up, it's surprise. There's like some basic facial expressions that are kind of encoded across language and across humanity.
That's right, transcultural.
You're working with some, you basically, there's a wild view I'm looking at back here. There's a bunch of RC controls back here. The cameras are embedded in the eyes. You're going to be able to shrink this down. This is pretty advanced. You've been working on this for a while.
Yes. The actuators are actually pretty bulky for what's required to move this skin. But the nice thing about this particular skin, and this has been one of the technical challenges, is getting this skin to require very little force and be very compressible. You can see that it's if you close up on
this
that.
Is actually, you've essentially come up with the polymer that's
right.
in there.
The polymer in the manufacturing technique, it's extremely compressible, which makes it very much like human facial soft tissue. So that means that we can compress the actuators to a very, very tiny volume.
Right.
The mass of the head can be 1.5 kilograms. It can run on batteries, and in fact, this thing is running on batteries as we speak. There's a suite of batteries underneath. We can actually tilt it upside down. They get nervous when you take this through the airport security.
I can imagine.
I usually have to take the batteries out.
A lot of coding behind this. Now we know we got some code libraries from you from MarshallSoft. What are the MarshallSoft code libraries doing?
Well, they address the serial port because we're mapping servo positions through serial lines, and I've got a team of really great, dedicated software engineers in Dallas. I'd love to mention their names if I could. How about we put them on the? Why don't we put those on the website? Because we got to go. Why don't you ask me one more question? What comes next?
Okay. What comes next for Vera?
Well, we are going to make a more appealing face. This is I hope appealing, but we haven't quite leaped across what they call the uncanny valley, which means like the disturbing, not quite right portrayal of realistic.
Because it's a little scary. Like I can see coding for this at 4 in the morning might bug you out a little bit.
Absolutely, and we were working on it at 4 in the morning this very day.
We said, what's the name of the guys you want to give the coders you want to give a shout out to?
Brian Burleson, Derek Hammonds, Jared Rowland, and Marshall Yount. Cheers to them. Yeah.
We got a scoop, folks. We got tons of stuff with links and pics of David's robots and his upcoming projects. Go to the show notes section of thescreensavers.com. David's doing some amazing stuff. It's a little there's a lot of light in here. There's a lot of people moving around. There's going to be some amazing stuff, David. We look forward to seeing it as it evolves. Ladies and gentlemen, still to come. I took a visit to the desert to check out DARPA's Grand Challenge. Up next, Brad tried to install XP and his burner shattered the disk. We're going to tell him what might have happened when the Screensavers continues.
Don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party.
That's powered by NVIDIA.
We're in our second week of Battlefield Vietnam. Grab your M16 and jump in a tank. It's time to frag yourself a screensaver. And to top it off, not only are we running the LAN party, we're also customizing and giving away our LAN party machines. So listen up, you have 2 chances to win. First, register for our LAN party and you're automatically entered. And second, be sure to watch for our secret code word during our LAN party on Thursday. You'll enter that into the website and that'll increase your odds. We'll be giving away 1 machine per week for the next 4 weeks. And you can enter each week that you want to. So go to our website and click on Join Our LAN Party to register. You must have the full version to play. And we'll see you Thursday for the Screensavers LAN Party.
Very cool.
Yeah, those are our machines. Those are the actual ones that we play. We're giving away.
So there's like our fingerprints on them and blood and sweat and tears.
It's got some Dan stuff on there and Yoshi stuff. People can eBay those for like twice as much as you would,
Yeah, somebody.
Never
You know
mind.
what? Let's just go straight to Brad on the phone from St. Charles, Missouri.
Hey, Brad.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going great. I have a question about a 52X CD burner.
Okay.
I was trying to install Windows XP on my computer, and like we were trying to install it, and then I was playing a game, and I turned around, and I heard a big snap, like a big, a big snap. And what happened was, is the CD burner like flew out like 3 to 2 inches.
Right.
And then my friend was over here, and he opened it up manually, and then he saw a lot of chunks of disc, Windows XP disc. And yeah, I know it's pretty bad, but
Brad, just out of curiosity, was it a backed up copy or was it the original copy?
Actually, it was the original copy.
Oh, really?
Was it scratched?
Yeah, I think it was scratched.
It's kind of funny, right? When 52X drives started coming out, there was these people were telling these great stories, and at first it started to sound like urban legend, online, myth, right? That at 52X the speeds are so intense that if there's any kind of fault in the disk, it can actually shatter inside of the drive, right?
Yeah.
Sounds ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely true,
does.
apparently. You're not the first person who actually heard about
we had
this
a couple
from.
people call and tell us about that.
Damaged disks, you don't want to read at 52X speed because there's so much stress on the disk as it's spinning at a high speed, it can actually crack and shatter inside of the drive.
I think I did make a backup copy before, so I did put it on the computer, the Windows XP backup copy. So I guess it works now.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's something to be aware of. As a matter of fact, when Plexstore first came out with like 52X CD drives, there was actually the tools in it were actually set up so that you had to manually enable the top speed because the engineers. Yeah, Plexstore is like class thing about Plexstore is they have like engineers that just want to engineer everything. To within a millimeter of its life, right? Yeah. And it's like, this is ridiculous, but but 52X drives, the spindle, it's like 150 RPM times.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like it gets to be a big math.
You could manually drop down the speed on some Plexstore drives?
Well, they actually said you actually had to manually enable the top speed of those 52X Plexstore drives when they came out. It's something to be aware of. If you have a fast CD-ROM drive, you should be aware, and you should not put a damaged disk in the drive. Any kind of a deep surface scratch or something like that, Brad.
Thank you guys very much.
No
you
sweat.
guys helped out a lot.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call.
And actually, you know what, Brad? I don't know if you can still hear us, but you should also call Microsoft because a lot of times they will actually replace, if you have the original packaging or if you have the original number, the serial number for the disk, a lot of times they'll actually mail you out a replacement disk for that.
It might be a good idea also to open up the drive and blow it out with some air, some compressed air, just get all the bits out of there.
Yeah, I'd almost say just round file
Get a new drive.
For $20, round file it and buy a new drive.
New drive.
A lot of crunchy parts in there.
Here's Sarah with a quick tip now.
That's right. What are the inputs like? How's the performance? And of course, does size really matter? These are questions you should be asking yourself when purchasing a bargain laptop. People, get your minds out of the gutter. If you want more tips on this, go to our show notes at thescreensavers.com and read our Lab Rats article on laptop bargain hunting. Better get the best deal or else. No, don't go anywhere. Play all your old arcade games on your own Xbox. Kevin will show you how. And after the break, Pat goes to the DARPA Grand Challenge. Can he stay out of trouble for once? We'll find out when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to Robot Week on the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up in this half hour, you miss playing your old arcade games? Well, Kevin's going to show you how to play them on your Xbox. Plus, we're going to tell Todd what he can do when a cordless phone is creating problems with his 802.11, his Wi-Fi network. Now, you might have heard, right? No, you've heard about it. Folks at home might have heard about the DARPA Grand Challenge, which actually took place a couple weeks ago. We already know that none of the robots finished the field test, the race. But for Robot Weeks, we're taking a great big close look at the Grand Challenge and what went on at this massive event. I was there. Here's the first package and what we found out there in the desert. Picture it, a Hummer, a glorified golf cart, an oversized quad, how about a motorcycle or a 16-ton truck barreling over 140 miles of gnarly desert trails. Now picture it without a human driver, and it's got to move fast enough to cover all that distance in under 10 hours.
For us techie types, it's one of the highlights of the last 20 years.
What's at stake? A shot at $1 million. Maybe some lucrative government contracts. Oh, and one more thing, the lives of American troops. It's an interesting idea. You want to get a vehicle from point A to point B without a person behind the steering wheel. Folks at DARPA,
they put out a call. It's called the DARPA Grand Challenge. DARPA, what are they? Think of them as the research arm for the Department of Defense. And what's DARPA mean? It's an acronym, of course. We're geeks, right? Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. The point, though, is these are the people who brought us the internet. They know how to make good things, like big giant computer networks we all can use.
When the USSR launched Sputnik, taking the Cold War into space, the U.S. government created the Advanced Research Projects Agency. Working for the Department of Defense, along with the internet, ARPA came up with GPS, stealth technology, and a number of other technologies you'd recognize.
We had the mandate from Congress to turn 1/3 of our vehicles into autonomous vehicles by 2015.
That's a heavy goal.
That is a very heavy goal, and that's the reason the DARPA Grand Challenge was created. That's the reason we're out here in the desert right now, and we're going to push that technology, and we're going to continue pushing that technology and place this technology in the military vehicles. Critical thing from a military perspective, you take the caves of Afghanistan, we had robotics going in there, but those robotic machines were tethered and they were wireless. And of course, every time they went around a curve or a bend in the cave, we lost transmission. Therefore, a soldier had to finally enter the cave to retrieve that machine. What we want to do in the future is never go into the cave ourselves, to have the robot do that. The second example I'll give you is the Basra to Baghdad and the Jessica Lynch story. And that there is a convoy that really got lost along the way. And to remove those soldiers from harm's way and to be able to move supplies rapidly to the front and tomorrow's battlefield would be exceptional.
Over 106 teams stepped up and submitted applications to the Grand Challenge. DARPA whittled that number down to 25. Still, applying was just the first step. Before they were unleashed on the desert, all the teams had to prove their robots worked, or at least could be stopped in the field. I felt that when Sam would cut out, right, that F-150 you saw at the end got stopped about 8 feet in front of me because it just made a right angle instead of going in a straight line.
You almost got crushed.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I didn't really almost get every vehicle they did. Part of the reason they had all those tests they were showing at the end, the qualification, is basically they had a control vehicle that had basically a pause button that would stop the vehicle and it would just sit there and wait to be released again, and another button that would have a kill switch that would basically put it in neutral, turn off the gas, shut off the ignition. So because they were really concerned at DARPA about not having anyone injured during the trials.
Makes sense.
It's pretty wild stuff, but they've got a wild goal. 2015, Congress wants 1/3 of all ground vehicles in the military to be autonomous, no drivers.
That's cool. Very cool.
It'll be fun to watch. Wednesday, we're going to meet the teams that entered the DARPA Grand Challenge and also hear from some desert racers. Scott Steinberger checked in with us about what he faces in the open desert and what the robots have to deal with. Cool. It's good stuff. You want to toss it?
Yeah, stay where you are. Up next, we're going to barricade a static electric phone from a Wi-Fi. He has a little wireless phone and he's trying to not get interference. Cool when that happens.
Yeah.
And run over 4,000 old school games on your Xbox. It's MAME on X when the screensavers continue.
Check in with the fine folks over at Tech Live to see what's coming up tonight.
Gentlemen.
News anchor Chris.
Yes, it's only me. Let me ask you something, or inform you of something. Anyone who's actually ever faced those breaks off the Northern California shore, and I believe, Patrick, you're one of those fellas, am I correct?
Well, if you're talking about Mavericks, no. If you're talking about surfing in the Pacific, I'll say yes.
He's lying. He's been in matter of fact, they named Mavericks after him.
No.
Patrick is our Maverick here. Well, yeah, actually, you need a lot of talent, a lot of guts, and a little bit of technology, actually, to brave some of those big waves. Check this out. Tonight on Tech Live. Oh, there's Patrick right now, as a matter of fact.
That's
no, I'm sorry. Patrick wears a Speedo when he surfs, so that's not him. We're going to take you to Mavericks. Of course, as Patrick said, a mainland mecca for wave riding.
You got Jeff Clark there.
Is that who that was?
That's Jeff Clark. That's the man who discovered Mavericks.
Are you
serious?
Epic.
Very cool human being.
Look at those waves, they're huge.
So you're going to be showing weather tracking?
No, actually, this dude who actually used the internet plus his gut instinct to predict the brake's behavior. Can you predict the behavior of those things? Here's my prediction. They're gigantic, they're going to swell, and they're going to crash.
Yeah.
Prediction over.
It's a good prediction, Chris.
There
That's
you
what's coming up on Tech Live.
That's coming up next. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
Right after this show. Jeff Clark's amazing.
What did he do? Was he on the show, or was the guy that predicting the weather, or no?
This guy, Jeff Clark's this guy who basically discovered like a 30-foot surf break and surfed it alone for 10 years just out north of Half Moon Bay. And he's going to be on Tech Live.
Awesome.
Very cool dude.
Little over a year ago, you may remember I showed you how to mod the Xbox. That is, you take an Xbox, open it up, add a mod chip, and it allows you to run all different types of third-party applications. Well, today I'm going to show you one of my favorite third-party apps for the Xbox, MAME.
I gotta do it. Do you violate your warranty if you install a mod chip?
If you install a mod chip, yes. There are, however, ways to do it without actually opening the box now that does not violate your warranty.
Cool.
But we'll get into those later. But MAME stands for Multiple Arcade Machine Emulator, and it's going to allow you to run old-school Nintendo games, arcade games, over 4,600 games in total, right off your Xbox.
Very cool.
Yeah. So let's get started. Let me show you. The first step is to actually launch the Xbox and connect to Evolution X. Now, Evolution X is the desktop replacement, and it's going to allow you to give you FTP access to the machine. I'll show you here. I'll go into the system settings and then into the settings here. And here's the IP address that I want to connect to. So I'm going to, on my desktop machine, I'm going to fire up, I use Smart FTP. This is one of my favorite FTP clients here on the desktop. And let's go into here. Let's see here.
So using that to transfer all the games.
Yeah, we want to look at the scan out of the desktop machine here. We're going to go in, and here's all the zip files. Do we have scan of the desktop out of the? There it is. Okay. So all these files right here. These are all my local browser. These are the games that I own that I've downloaded. Different types of games. Rambo 3, Rampage.
You bought all the ROMs for these.
Yeah, I mean you can go out and if you have old school Nintendo games, you can back up all the ROMs yourself.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's so many different ways to get the ROM files. What you do here is you connect to the Xbox, and actually on the lower screen here, this F drive, you see F drive applications, MAME on X. This is actually, I'm browsing through my Xbox. I just FTP'd into it.
Cool.
So what you do is you drag and drop the application on there, and then click on the ROMs, and this is where all your ROM files go. You just drag and drop the ROMs right on there, and then once you do that, you're good to go. You've copied over all the files, and you're ready to launch it. So then you go back to your Xbox here, and I'll go into the launch menu and applications, and here is, you'll see it appears right there the second you install it, MAME on X. So we'll click launch. That's going to launch the program within your Xbox, and you'll see it come up here in just a second. And there it is, MAME on X. So now it says insert coin, but really just press a button. And here are all the games that I have, all the ROMs that I have installed. So all you have to do is choose a ROM that you like. Let's go with Dig Dug is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it launches MAME on X. Now it's taking that zip file that we just copied over, extracting it in real time, finding the ROM files, and then launching it. You can see here, here's the CPU that it's going to run. It's going to run at 3.1 megahertz.
Wow.
Is what we needed. And then here it launches it, kind of does some like really crazy things on the screen at first. And then
essentially this is emulating all the hardware that would have been in a stand-up arcade machine.
Exactly. It's turning this Xbox into that stand-up arcade machine. So here's Dig Dug. We'll go ahead and insert a coin. Let's see here. There we go. Got a couple credits. There it is. You remember Dig Dug? Dig Dug was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So, I mean, it's the exact game just like you played it, but this time I'm using the Xbox controller. And let's see if I can, I mean, same arcade game. Now, all you have to do is, if you want, is the start and back button on your controller. If you hit those two buttons, it's going to exit the game and then take you back to your list again.
Very nice.
So you just press the two buttons, it takes you right back to the main list, and now you can choose another game that you like, you know, all the other ones, Mario Brothers.
It's amazing. I totally like hear in the audience, there's a bunch of like people like over the age of 20 who are like, yes! And there's a bunch of 8-year-olds who go like, I want to play Halo. That's stupid.
I know, this sucks.
This is awesome, though.
I know, it's cool for us that, you know, I don't remember some of these games, but yeah, I did grow up with a lot of these myself. So here's the original Mario Brothers. Like I said, hundreds and hundreds. I mean, 4,600 games is what it supports.
It's amazing.
It's an open source project, so you can download it right off the web. It's on SourceForge. I have all the links to everything in my article. But it's a great little program that allows you to bring back all those games without having to hook up the old Nintendo.
Right.
I hooked up my old Nintendo the other day, and I had to blow in the cartridge like 10 times
just to get it
to play. Everybody remembers that. That sucks, you know? So now I have my Xbox, and I never have to do any of that, and you can play it from one machine.
It's very cool.
So it's pretty cool. You can download MAME for the Xbox, learn how to mod your own Xbox. All my articles, I have multiple articles that you can actually read at thescreensavers.com.
It's good stuff. Right now, we're going to check in with Leo. Get a quick Linux tip.
Linux tip.
You ever forget your Linux password? Happens all the time. But you're not out of luck because single user mode will allow you to change the password. If you use Lilo to boot Linux, when you get that Lilo command prompt, just type Linux single and you'll go into single user mode. Most of us now are using the Grub boot manager. All you do is you hit the E key, say, I want to edit these boot commands, scroll down to the kernel command and add this one little word at the end. I'm going to type E and I'm going to go to the very end there. I'm going to type the word single. That's telling Grub that I want to now boot in single user mode. Continue the boot, and instead of getting the GUI and X window and everything, you're going to get a simple little prompt that I can now basically have full root access to the system, including changing passwords. This is also handy if you've got a corrupt file system. It's basically safe mode for Linux. It doesn't mount as many partitions. It doesn't run as many processes. It doesn't do as many logins. So you can fix a lot of things you wouldn't otherwise. See, we've got the command line here. I'm just going to watch this. Password root. Let me give it a new password. New. I shouldn't change it on these guys, should I? Okay, well, I will. You'll never be able to log in again. Notice it didn't ask me for validation. It didn't ask me for a password. I have actually changed my root password. Now I can reboot, go into X window, and I can change all the other passwords as well. That's how you get back into a Linux system after you lose your password. Administrators, if you've got a public system and you don't want people to do this, make sure you password protect Grub. Back to you guys.
Good to know.
Thanks, Leo. Coming up after the break, Todd's cordless phone and Wi-Fi equal a whole lot of static. We're going to give him the solution right after these messages.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Robot Week continues. We scouted out the Robo Olympics for the best robot athletes. Pooh's going to tell you all about them. Plus, should robots have emotions? Are they going to help them live? We're going to find out. Plus, easily view image thumbnails by just hovering your mouse over them. Sarah's going to show you, and that's all coming up on tomorrow's edition of the Screensavers.
So one thing I wanted to mention real quick, I forgot to mention this in our previous segment there, MAME is also available for Windows.
Yeah.
So if you want to play all those games on Windows, you can do so as well. And the links, of course, to download that version are in my article as well. So
outstanding.
Cool stuff.
Good, clean fun.
Yeah.
Todd joins us on the phone from Acton, Massachusetts.
Hey, Todd.
How's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
I just want to say that I love the Screensavers and I watch it every night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
How can we help you? You've complimented. We got to solve a problem for you.
Yeah, let's help them out.
Yeah, well, I'm having some interference with my wireless network and my 2.4 gigahertz phone. And whenever, well, in general, whenever, like, if I go to a web page on the wireless network, I get a whole lot of hissing and crackling on my phone.
Ooh.
In theory, right, that's supposed to be impossible, you know, right? Because it's like digital spread the spectrum, jumping. But in theory, right, most of the modern 2.4 gigahertz items, whether you're talking about a Wi-Fi network or whether you're talking about a cordless phone.
We need to get a new props guy. This is not a 2.4 gigahertz phone.
You know
this is
what?
like some jank phone that they just grabbed off of somebody's desk.
It's not even a jank phone. It's the headset off a jank phone. I like the part on the inside that says "Hang me up."
It says "Hang me up" on the inside.
We're a little slow here some days with the Screensavers. We need help with
new
the
props guy.
Technologies. Anyhow, Todd, what kind of? Do you know? Is it an older 2.4 gigahertz phone?
Actually, no, it's fairly new. It's a Panasonic 2.4 gigahertz.
You know, it's funny, right? In theory, there's digital spread spectrum, there's frequency hopping, and what's supposed to be happening is whatever 2.4, most modern 2.4 gigahertz devices, except for like an X10 or something, they're supposed to hop from frequency to frequency. They're supposed to jump if they have interference or static. They're supposed to keep moving in terms of, you know, moving through the cycles. I'm going to say that word cycles 3 or 4 times. Problem is, though, is we noticed as early as like the Siemens Gigaset when it came out, Jim Lauterbach had that, you know, Wi-Fi, and he found out that anytime anybody was talking on the Siemens Gigaset, it lowered his throughput speed on his network.
So now, was that a really good quality phone? Does this happen on all phones, or are we just talking the ones you get for $20 at Best Buy?
We know what the Siemens Gigaset was a really expensive phone. The Panasonic, not a cheap phone, right?
So now he has a solution. He could go to 802.11a if he really wanted to, which runs at, what is that, 5 gigahertz?
5 gigahertz.
Or he could just buy a 5 gigahertz cordless phone, which is starting to sell now as well.
But before
I actually already have my access point is actually a dual band, 5 gigahertz and 2.4.
I mean, one of the nice things about 5 gigahertz is, I mean, Acton's is a pretty crowded town, right? If memory serves. It's like, you know, is it in Boston or near Boston? I get so confused.
It's out west.
Here's the thing, though, is
near.
before you do that, there's a bunch of things you do. One is try using a different channel on your 802.11 connection to see if that, for some reason, you know, if you're using channel 6, go to 11, try 2, try 4, try 1. Bounce around and see if that helps clean up some of the interference. And that'll actually work if you have 9 people in your neighborhood that are all using 802.11b and you tend to find them competing for your signal. Try changing to a different channel on there. Sometimes that'll help out. Try repositioning where the phone is in the house. Try repositioning where the access point is in the house. Because sometimes if you just sort of move them around, the antennas kind of stop interfering with each other's signal. But definitely try changing the ID for the 802.11 network.
And he can also log into the router and disable B altogether and just go with the straight A, which is going to be that 5 gigahertz range, and then he won't have any issues whatsoever.
Do you have any, will the A get to like both ends of your house? Do you have any problems with that, Todd?
Actually, I first started out using the A because, I mean, I've heard it so much faster, but I actually, I kept losing the signal a lot, and I've heard that A isn't really reliable and that the signal doesn't go as far.
One of the things you might want to, well, A is at a higher frequency, so the more walls you have, the less likely A is to penetrate them, right? The longer the frequency, the lower the number, the more likely it is to penetrate distance or walls of your house or go to your neighbor's yard or whatever. You might want to see if there's been any updates for the drivers for your wireless cards and for your base station. That might help clean it up some. And definitely try change the station ID and try moving the location of the antennas to see if that helps. Tough one.
Cool.
Really tough one.
Some good solutions, though. Thanks for the call, Todd. Let's check in with Dan with a helpful little tip.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Some songs at the end of albums have a secret track added to it. Usually that makes for like a 30 or 40-minute track. So here's how to do it. Here's how to get all the dead air out in iTunes. What you do is right-click on whatever song you want. In this case, it's Shine On You Crazy Diamond. It's one of the best songs ever written. Go to Options tab. And then come down to stop time, check that, and then choose the time at which you want to time out on. And then that's it. That's it. No more. But anyway, stay where you are. Next up, we're checking our inbox, see what's on your mind when Screensavers continue.
Come see the show in person. If you're going to be in the San Francisco Bay Area and you'd like to join the Screensavers live on the set, go to www.techtv.com/ticketline for information and to request tickets. Go there so we can see you here.
It's that time again.
Sarah, do you have any emails?
I do. Okay, this one is from Michael. He says, what is really the big deal about the mini iPod? Wouldn't a 15 gig iPod be better than a 4 gig mini iPod for $50 more?
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Yes. No.
Oh, look at this here. What's this? Oh, that's my nice little mini iPod. Ooh. I love this thing. Now, hold on. Now, people say it's a ripoff, but they did sell out. A lot of people are buying them. And the reason why they're so cool is I like to go to the gym a lot, and I can seriously just clip this thing on my belt.
Right next to your knife.
Right next to my knife. And no, I don't carry a knife when I'm at the gym. And I'll never even know it's on me. You know, I don't even feel it. It's super lightweight, and I haven't gotten one scratch on this. One of the big improvements they made is they coated this with something so it's scratch resistant.
Are you sure it's not because you always carry it around in this when you're not using it?
Well, that could be too.
You have your little mini iPod sock?
I've been taking very good care of it, but no scratches. I love it. It's super. It's about the size of a business card. So it's
pretty amazing.
It's worth it.
I say go for the extra, 15, 20, 40 gigabytes because I want my entire record collection everywhere I go.
That's it. Dan feels the same way. I think it's different for everybody.
You got to make your own call or buy both.
There you go.
The Steve Jobs answer.
That's right.
Want more?
Yes,
sure.
indeed.
Okay, he also sleeps with it under his pillow, which I think is kind of weird, but it's kind of besides the point. Okay, Jerry says...
Bun in the oven, bun in the oven.
I forfeit this. I don't know. Okay, I'm purchasing a 478 type motherboard to build my own PC. It has both parallel ATA HDD connectors and the serial ATA HDD connectors. If I get a serial drive, will I be able to run it and also run my parallel drives at the same time? I hope that made sense.
Okay, so there's serial ports and ATA ports for hard drives.
That's
Can
right.
you use all of them? On most motherboards, yes, you should be able to use all the ports. Depends on how they set the motherboard up.
Yeah.
Check the instructions before you buy it.
That's a lot of garbage right there she was saying. I had no idea what I didn't hear.
We gotta go. That's
gotta
it for this
go.
edition of the Screensavers.
I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Patrick Norton. Thanks for joining us. We'd like to thank our guest, David Hanson. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Good night.